Welcome back to Colbert Mini Projects. I'm here with my Uncle John, and we've got a project that I think a lot of people deal with, and that is a sinking shed. How old's this shed, John?
This shed is probably 20 plus years old. I think it's 22 years old.
22 years old, and this thing's just sinking in the ground. So we're going to lift this thing with hydraulics, and I brought the Vermeer. It's more of my security blanket, but we're going to use a different type of hydraulics, and we're going to try to do it with bottle jacks. So I think the first things first, let's empty the shed out, and then we'll figure out if we want to jack it up from the outside or the inside. And once we get this cleared out a little bit, we'll have a better plan, but we'll put some footings underneath it. Again, we don't know how we're going to do that, but we will find a way to get some pads underneath it and get her leveled up today.
Do you have a trick? Oh, yeah. It's really some in. Yeah.
The shed is cleared out, and you can see, like, you got to be a little careful here, but if I step in the wrong spot, that one's okay. But yeah, I'll just go through right there. Well, when you're in one of these sheds, one thing I like to do is figure out which way the floor joists are running based on where I stepped. I actually stepped right here thinking that I was running, the floor joists ran with the trusses and the wall columns. They do not. It actually told me that the floor joists are running the opposite direction. They're running perpendicular, which, heck, I don't even see anything here. Where would maybe here? Surely. Okay, so that's it there. So there's the one floor joist right there. You can kind of see it exposed. Looks like, since it's not completely rotted away, it is treated, thank the heavens. And then we'll have another one here, which is good. So I could beat right here and have a hole. And then right here we got a hole. So we could peel some of this up. So, all right, so step one, we've got some floor joists located and we understand where they are. Now, we're going to want to peel up or Sawzall, whatever, but we want to take, this floor needs to come out anyways. So I say we take the floor out so we can get to it. I don't like screwing through the outside of the shed because you just screw through all the siding. But if we can take our bottle jacks, our hydraulics, and put those inside the floor here and lift from the inside, we can screw to these studs and we're not putting holes in his shed. So I'm going to get started. We're going to start taking this floor out so we have some space to work.
Top of the floor. Did I?
Floor is removed. That was honestly a lot easier than I thought it would be. Looking at this, trying to salvage the floor joists we have, they're only 2x4s. We've got 2x6s. We're going to go ahead and use the 2x6s. We're also going to change the orientation, and we're going to run the floor joists parallel with the trusses that are in here. We'll be able to attach to the front, these three in the middle, the intermediates, and then the rear. And we should be able to jack this thing up and slide footings underneath it. our plan is to actually give up or lose a little bit of headroom in here, but it's going to save us a ton of digging. So I think this is a good plan. I'm, almost 6'5", and I got plenty of room. So if we lose about 4 or 5 inches, I think we're going to be just fine. Just a little step up and then a nice clean floor. So I'm just cutting through here. I'm going to have to go through a little bit of wood, but I'm just trying to get to cut through the nails here. All right, you can see that one broke loose, and then we'll just go next to next. So I've got a couple different Sawzall blades. This one's the Wrecker. It's probably my third favorite Sawzall blade. My first favorite is this wood blade that Milwaukee makes, and then my favorite is the Torch. Cutting through I-beams, just anything, like a beast. This one's okay, but it's the Wrecker, so I think it's like it doesn't know what it is. Do I cut wood? Do I cut metal? So sometimes it goes a little slower than I like, but it will take out the nails through embedded wood. Yeah. Where's my hammer? Yeah, see all that rot? Trying to attach to all this is just crazy. I'd rather just build up and above it. And the beauty of this is that these are 20 years old, but they're it's pretty good treated wood. So if we need some blocking, we'll have some. Nice. And then this guy's already detached. Now trying to get this stuff out, instead of trying to take a big piece, these are probably toenailed in, so I'm just going to knock them out with my hammer. This one, yeah. Block of wood hit my toe. Ouch. Hammer it right into my foot. That'll go into the bloopers. All right, now John and I, since there's really nothing level in here right now, we haven't moved the building, we're going to actually go off of the rafters that are in here. John's buttoned me up high. I want to have, this is exactly 6 foot. So a 2x6 is 5.5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a 1/2 inch. That's like, it's losing a lot. I think these can sag down, let's say 1.5 inches. So let's go ahead and mark 5'8" at the sidewall. And we'll do this on each one. And then that'll be the top of our 2x6 that we fasten to. So now we'll go to this one. And again, these aren't level with each other right now, but they are consistent. If I have any concerns right now doing something like this, usually like if I'm hammering or something like that, I'll put my safety glasses on. Right now, I just don't want John to have a bowel movement. Okay. Got them all marked. Now I'm going to pull a length, and I'm going to go ahead and run my 2x6. So, John, if you would just butt me into your plywood at the end of the building there. Yep. Now, he doesn't have a nailer down there that I got to fight with, but I do have this 2x. So, John, could you go down to the bottom of the plywood for me? Or as long as it's still solid. We don't want to go on the wall. I'm actually going to stop this board even with this 2x4 rim joist. All right, so we're going to go 7, 7, and 1/8. And then we'll cut it and we'll slide that one in here. Oop, measure twice, cut once. Forgot, we only have a couple here. Yep, 700. Get it right on your arrow. All right. And one thing we want to do here, and you can look down this board, we do want to crown this board. You're not going to be able to see it, but it does have a curve this way. So I want to make sure that curve is up, gives us the most strength. All right, that placed in there nice and snug. Let me go get some fasteners and we'll start putting these things on. I measured the thickness of the wall and I was just making sure, if you see this measuring right here, because this is not a full 2x4. Let's pull this one, it's straighter. Looks like we've got 4 inches plus a 1/2 inch or 7/16 plywood, whatever's on the outside. And then if you measure these are about 3 15/16. So that means I can't countersink these real deep, but I can get a full grip on these. Like this is almost perfect size for this. Now what I'm doing is I'm getting back to my line that we drew, which is getting close. I want to tap both ends so it comes down even. There's that line. Actually, that one's so good, I'm going to go ahead and screw it in place. This one's a little low. We'll bring her up. It's good. Okay, that one spun out on me, which tells me that there's a little rot at the bottom of this column. Not a problem. We'll back her out and we're going to grab her a little higher. All right. I ain't exactly sure how I want to do that yet, but what we might end up doing is we can add a block here as a spacer and we can run 6 inchers through the end of this board. That should get us pretty close. So you can go through a lot of work of measuring back and forth and figuring out where you need to be. In this case, I know where I need to be. So I actually come from the backside, poke myself a hole, and then I'll come back through. I just make sure you angle it down so it's in the plane of the board. But this will tell me right where I need to drill. And this will be my upper screw. So that marks it for me. I can go to the outside of the building now and I'll put the screw right back in that hole. And then I can run another one a little bit lower. All right, we'll do that on the other end here as well. This one here, we're going to toenail in so that we're sure to hit our spot. So you can see right here, see that little hole right there? That's what we're looking for. Now, before I go ahead and screw into this, I do want to add a block to allow that to tighten up a little bit. So one thing you want to remember, I just grabbed a treated block. You can see it's not very straight from the Sawzall. That's pretty straight. I'm just setting this inside here. And as long as this doesn't exceed the height of our 2x6, which it does not, it doesn't matter anymore, right? So I'm going to go ahead and leave this block right here. We're going to run our screw in and tighten this thing down. And this will be top of floor. Did that catch the 2x6 okay, John? Okay, perfect. Beautiful. So that's grabbing there. Now I want to come through the other end and do the same thing over here. Over here, in this corner before we can put this main, what I would call lift beam or lower header on, which is really just a floor joist. I don't think this 2x6 is going to sit where we want because there's already like a form of a footing here. And what happened was they did put a concrete block in here to hold it up, but if you put an off-centered load, what happens is it tips and then it just drips down instead of going down straight. That's why whenever you do your foundations or your footings, if you're doing squares like this or even posts on a deck, you really want them as centered as possible. Yeah. Perfect. I think it was good intentions, but they just, when they're at the edge and they just tilt, they just allow it to just sink. They needed to be more centered. So I can't dog old grandpa too much. You know? That felt kind of solid. Well, let's grab that tape measure there, John. And go ahead and give me the smart end. It don't matter. But can you butt me into this 2x4 right there? You got a good spot there? All right, look at this thing square. My grandpa built it and it's square, baby. I got 7, 7 and an 1/8. Perfect. All right, we're going through double 2x4s here. So again, I just want to mark my hole. And I'll do that by lining up. And that'll be my mark. Okay, I'm gonna put my blocking in here, which will get fastened by the lags. A little bent nail in. Watch how that pulls that up. Want it right about there. Not too far. All right, so that at the end of our lift header, we're calling it, I've got these 2 screws, but it's just in some like press board. It's not that great. I really would like to be in the frame. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a couple 2x6 blocks that I have. See here, if we lift, we're just lifting on this wall. We'll probably rip through, okay? So if I actually set this block here and then I screw through and catch the corner joist, that's what I'm looking for. And that's going to make it significantly stronger. And this can really just be a temporary. As soon as we're done, we can set it back down. We could leave it, but I'm just going to set it back down and I'll make it easier to run the flooring. So we'll take it back off. So we'll keep it temporary. I've got some shorter screws. I don't remember how long these are. If they're 2 1/4. Yeah, 2 1/2. So that's basically all I need. So I'll just run 2 of these in. And John, if you'd be willing, just press against this thing so it doesn't fall off the wall. And I'll run a couple through this. Did that catch you? Yeah. Tell you what, let me go with a longer screw. I've got 2x4s on both sides. Yeah, just keep your hands at the edges. How'd that do? Cool. Can you tell where it's at on your block?
About 2.5 inches up from the bottom of the block.
Okay, so I can grab one a little higher now. Pretty good? Okay. All right, now when we go to lift, now we're locked in the frame. That feels way better to me. So let's rinse and repeat on this end, John, if you want to hold that block up. And that one will just kind of sit on top of that 2x6. Perfect. You want up higher? All right, we're tucked into the frame, and that looks good to me. Now, I'd like to do it on this corner as well, these two corners. I've got an extra piece of 2x6 here I'll use. Just eyeballed these, and they're like almost perfect. Sweet. Okay, so that one will go there. That one will go there, and I will go outside. I honestly think we're ready, guys. I think we're ready to bring the bottle jacks in here and then identify a way to use them. So we'll try to lift them. I think, if I'm honest, I probably want to, I wouldn't want to put the bottle jack in the corner because I want to dig out and put a footing. So I probably want to put my bottle jack like here and there. And then we can go up and down, level the walls, both sides, and it'll be kind of floating on the bottle jacks for a little bit. It's probably as simple as just putting a horizontal 2x6 lag to the top of this down just to lift it. I don't know that there's that much pressure on it, but just enough for two old guys like us to not want to do it. All right, we're going through, and we're just making sure that our bottle jacks are below, and if anything, John, we want them leaning towards the outside. Get them just below the top of this, and then what I'm going to do is actually screw my stakes to the wall, and then we'll lift up on the stakes, and it should be just what we need. So then what I'll do is I'll set this here, and I'm eyeballing all of my screws because I don't want any of them to blow through the side of the building, but I do want to get a good grab on them. So like right here would be about perfect. So I'll drop one here. And anytime you're putting these in, you have way more strength in shear than you ever would with pull out. So I'm trying to keep my screws going horizontal versus vertically resisting these forces. Again, I don't think there's a ton of forces, but still be careful. All right, you can see here, that one's not going to go through the wall right there. Mark it, screw it in. All right, perfect. That one's good. Get a long one and a short one of this, and I'll put my other stake on this side. Sorry, John. Nice work. Very nice. You're a savvy veteran, John.
Oh yeah,
Savvy
I was
veteran.
taught from the best.
Don't say that and not clarify, because there's probably some guy in Wisconsin named Jim that's going to say, I taught him.
Jim Leamy.
Oh, was he?
Man.
So both sides. Both sides of the family. Okay. All right. Why don't we put some pressure on these things, John? Let's see what happens. We're actually not ready to. We need to go through and put them on the other sides, but I just got to know if this is going to break off. So step one, let's tighten this valve so that it won't release the pressure. And then it's a simple pump up. Oop, I can feel it. Now we're going to find out if this is just going to drive it in the dirt or if she's going to raise the building. I'm saying she's going up because look at the other jack.
I feel it.
Ain't that cool? All right.
Very cool.
Sweet. I think when we do the others, I can already feel that I'm pushing out, so we might want to lower them, level the jacks more, because this angle is probably enough to push it out. But with that experiment, I'm feeling pretty good about it. So then we can just loosen this, lower the shed back in the hole.
That was a weird illusion. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah.
Oh, and then maybe just lift up on the jack to get some space. Yeah. Is that thing catching that sucker? Okay. So I've got this laser set up, and I set it up what I presume is the high corner. So now I'm going to hit each corner, And I want to make sure that this makes me lift. Okay, that tells me that this corner here is lower than the corner I just measured by about 2 inches. This one over here we'll measure is about 3.5 inches. And that's the worst corner. And then this corner is pretty rough too. It's probably another 2 inches maybe. Okay. So we're going to come through and we're going to start working the bottle jacks up until each and every one of these shows the same height. So we probably won't have to do much, if any, bottle jacking in this corner. But I would say that we're going to want to lift these three in unison. So small adjustments, then go to the next one. Small adjustments, go to the next one. So that's what John and I are going to do right now. Let's get the building level. And Nicole can, actually, I'll get it here. I'm going to set this here. I'm going to try to get my worst one up. Man, it's got a lot to go. Is yours raising up yet, John? All right. Okay, this one's still got to go up. Okay. Okay. Let me adjust mine a little bit. You can hang loose there, John. That one's still dead on. This one's got to come up. Yeah, you've only got another inch to go. We're going to go real easy with these. This one here is still the worst. So I'll apply some more pressure to this one. Okay, it's at least starting to beep for me. I wonder, use your skinny thing and tighten that valve. I wonder if it's going down.
Wow.
But I just got to go up a little more.
I should go up too late.
Yeah. Okay, that affected that, so I'm going up a little bit. All right, we've got the shed jacked up. Everything's level, all sides. Here's the footings that we're using right here. The ground was pretty close to level, so we just slide these in. And I want to center that thing with the load on this board. And then really we just got to make sure we fill our dirt in here and tamp it in real good. And I think since we're doing loose fill and tamping on all holes, that's probably going to be the best that we get without like totally lifting this thing out of here and like pouring concrete or something crazy. So trying to do this on a budget, and I think this is a good plan. And tamp it down. Take that now, thanks. All right. So tamp this down. We'll get another layer in here, but I'll slide this footing in and then I'll tamp it towards my pad. But it's really pretty good. All right. And I took that pressure off that jack, which tells me that it raised it just slightly. So if I put the laser on it, it should tell me I'm a touch high. And it does. Oh, dead on. Cool. And I'm breathing heavy because I'm old, out of shape. And tamping should always be twice as hard as digging a hole, which can be hard. So gotta get in there and get it right. Okay, John.
Yes, sir.
That's me. So now I'm lowering the building. on this one here, lowering the jack, because this jack over here is not holding. I don't know what's going on. So, but I'm not impressed. I'm gonna take it out of here. I'm gonna put this guy under here. Give me what I need. You can see we got to go up. It's this easy. We just pump till we're on the line. Pull our stake out of there, and I'll get another footing. All right, looks like I got to bring in a little bit of fill. See how that fits. Yep, a little more. She's a beaut, Clark. Last one. Ooh, this one's still holding the building. So I hate to do this, but I gotta take it out of there. Cole's got a strategy. Nicole informed me that I have a jack next to me to take the weight off this step for this footing, so I can pull it out. So I'm really grateful. Now we'll say this right here. You can see where the building was sitting right on this edge. And if you're not centered, this will just tip over time. And that's what was allowing the settling. And this one held the best, but it's just not enough. Yeah, right about there. They don't have to go all the way down, but enough to take the pressure off. We went corner to corner with our laser, and we've got all our pads in, tamped underneath them the best we can. The three corners are like perfect. This one's probably, I think it's right around an 1/8 inch, but it's not enough for me to want to fight and try to redo, jack up, all that. So we're going to take our wedges off the walls. We're going to get our jacks out of here. And then we're going to recenter for a couple things. One, probably lunch. And number two, I think we need some joist hanger brackets, because we'll just hang our floor joists, our new floor joists, off of this existing board now. So we'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll get 10 of those and some screws to put them in. And then this thing is level and secure. Now all I'm doing is I'm just marking out the framing 2 foot on center. And then John's going to put the floor joist hangers on. Yeah. I didn't know. Just taking a look at the end of this building. This isn't very tight. This plywood isn't tight to this board. I know this board has a bow in it, but it still needs to come in. So I'm going to actually screw the siding to this, just try to straighten that bottom out a little bit. I put the level on it, that proves it. And then the other thing that I want to do is I'm going to cut this a little bit more so we can run our siding full under here and we're not notching around it. So I'm going to take another 3/4 of an inch off. It's a bummer I got to cut twice on this, but at least I did my walkthrough before I went and ran plywood and had to fight it later. So it should make it really easy to run this later. Wouldn't you know? It had a nail in it. Wouldn't you know? Get him. Okay, we've got our rim joists in. We've got our hangers set. We're I guess doing less and less traffic in here. So now it's time to put the plastic down. We found this roll of plastic for $4. We're going to keep the moisture down away from our floor. So we're going to lay this down, and then we'll come through, put our floor joists over it, and I'll go out and cut those while John is doing this, and then we can cut our flooring, finish this up. This one, your next one. There you go. Oops. Pretty snug. And then, because I want to just knock these down, those footings aren't perfectly level. And before I screw this one on, I want to make it a double. So I'm going to catch it there, and I'm going to say 79 and a half. Moves it out. Still good? Not in your foot? Okay, the shed's a little bit out of square. We went and got 2 sheets of plywood from Home Depot. Since it's out of square, I think what I'm going to do, I want to make sure rough side's up. And I measured it. It's going to be 7'7". And I tried to square it, but it's kind of floating on those pads, those footings. So I just left it. But I'll just mark 7'7" and an eighth here. And then I'll go 7'7" and 3/8 on this side. 7'7" and 3/8 here. And just measure twice, cut once on this. We only got 2 sheets. Yeah. I'll chalk a line on this. This will be my wider spot. So that means that's what I want. I want the tongue to go in first. So the tongue goes in the next one first. Because this is tongue and groove plywood. Get this guy cut. Make sure there's nothing. No more plywood. No parts of my trailer or truck I'm going to cut. Super straight. All right, now we can just walk this in. I'm going to set it down a second. I got to move Big Mike. I think we can do it because we're narrower than the walls. Work it in there. Good. Okay. Then we'll lean it back to ourselves. Touch your fingers. A bit of you a little bit. Okay. Decent. So let's center up. Right about there. And then I'm just going to notch these blocks, but I didn't think doing it in the driveway was a wise choice. Put her up. Get her home. And on this one, since we started with the tongue forward towards the back wall, we want to make sure that we're cutting off. We're leaving that tongue because it's got to go in the next groove, and we're cutting off this groove, which is the internal side of that. Is I need to pull from here. I need to take 1.5 inches by 2 3/4 out of each one here. So I'll go 1 5/8. 2 3/4 gave me some room. Get these squared up. To take her into the right of the shed. Sweet. All right, let me get on your side. All right, so the objective is we're going to set it on this ledge, and then we're going to drop it into place, and it's just going to magically work. That's the dream, okay? I like the dream. So we'll be right there, and you want to make sure you're up. There you go. And now make sure, are you pretty aligned end to end, like lengthwise? Are you pretty close?
Pretty close.
Got to come your way?
Little.
Yep.
There you go.
Pretty good there?
That's good.
I like that too. So we're going to go down as easy as we can. Oops. And we're pulling towards our feet. There you go. All right, now step on it here and pull with your toes. All right, you ready? And we're going to drop on 3. 1, 2, 3, drop. Cha-cha.
Nice.
You got to clean that edges. Right now I'm just coming through and marking our studs. So this way when we screw it down, we're getting our screws to hit the boards that we just installed. Okay, let's go to this next one, which is right there just past your wall stud. Okay. Thanks for watching, everybody. We've got the flooring in. We did shortcut this, so I'm sure people are going to notice, but we did narrow it. Bringing the sheets in on a shed, usually you want to lay your floor first and build your shed up. When you're retrofitting, if you do keep your sheets on the inside of your studs, you can angle them in really easily. So I do recommend that. As long as the owner, in this case John, is okay with some blocking in between the joists, which he is, but this doesn't feel spongy, it feels firm all over. I think this is like gonna just double the life of this shed. Looking at the siding, we didn't put any unnecessary holes in that. The shingles actually still look pretty good on it. So we checked the doors are even closing. So we're gonna get this cleaned up. But I'll tell you guys, like, make sure you're good with your family, because I love my Uncle John, I really do. And I love just working with and around him and just spending time. So don't miss out on those special moments. If you got an issue with somebody, connect with them. And remember to like, subscribe, and hit those notifications. See you next time.
Clean pair of shorts. Oh, jeez. There's that headroom. There it is.